Hi, I'm Sean. I look after the Medit i500 sales and training team for the UK and Ireland for Medimap Supplies. As you know, today is the release of the Medit Ortho simulation app. So let's have a look at that. So first of all, if you open up your Medit Link software to install the app, if you go on the left-hand side to your apps box, and then you'll see 4 new apps actually, but if you click on the Medit Ortho simulation, click on install, it will download. Once it's downloaded, an installation shield dialog box will open up. If you don't see that box, because it may open up behind this software window, just minimize or make your software, your Medit Link software, a window within Windows, and then you'll be able to see the installation shield and click install and next. You'll need admin privileges. Of course, all of our users will know how to get into their machines as admin, and you'll need privileges to install software. Once it's installed, you can then go and open up a case. There are some example cases that you can install. But you probably have some patients that would benefit from some ortho treatment. We have such a patient here. So what you need is an upper and lower scan with the occlusion. So I've just opened up this patient scan. As you can see, I'm zooming in and out real easily with my Space Mouse. You will have probably seen previous videos that talk about Space Mouse and some of the other really cool upgraded features in the Medit Scan for Clinic software. But today we're talking about the Ortho app. So with the patient scan open, you'll see you have some new icons up here, and this one here is the Medit Ortho simulation. So after the patient scan, the patient has been scanned, you process the scan and you drop back into that particular scan in your Medit Link software. You'll see this new ortho icon here, and you click on that, and that will start up the ortho. You can learn more about this if you click on this button here. It will take you to the Medit website. You can download the example cases, and there's some other training or full training videos. So this is just a first look. So continue working. I'm going to do this in real time so you can see how long it takes, how long the processing takes. It's quite nice. It tells you, gives you instructions as to what to do at each stage. So first of all, we set these control points to be at the central, the midline, center point of the central incisors. So that's the upper, and that's the lower. Now, I should have mentioned when I was looking at the case in the Medit Link software, and it might be the case that your dental assistant or your treatment coordinator has done the scanning. And at that stage, once you're in Medit Link, you can see the scan, and if there's any soft tissue or any unwanted areas that have been picked up, of course, you know that you have to go back into the scan. You have to have your scanner connected to do that, to do any trimming. So I was mindful of that, and I trimmed the case off a bit, but I can see that there's a little bit more trimming to do. So I wondered about that, but it's really nice. Once you're in this simulation tool, you have access to the trimming function. So you can just take this trimming function, which you will be familiar with, and you can trim off any excess. I'm not going to do any more trimming than that, and I'll show you why in just a moment. It effectively does a soft tissue base during the simulation, so any unwanted parts of the scan that are above about this area, you don't really need to worry about anyway. Okay, so that's those set, and we just go confirm, and now we're preparing for the simulation. As you know, other scanners have some simulation software. This is absolutely awesome. I have to congratulate the Medit software team. I really think this is an awesome simulation. It's a little bit more than a simulation. It's a treatment planning or it gives you access to, in a very, very simple and easy way, treatment planning, so that your simulation is not just a computer, really basic simulation. It can be a very, very precise, very in-depth simulation stroke almost treatment planning. So the segmentation has been done, and this is really, really cool. Imagine having this up on a large screen in front of the patient. So segmentation, it's made a separate 3D object of each of the teeth. You can see the teeth chart here. We can have different scenarios, so we'll just go with scenario 1 for now. You can see that it's automatically seen that there are no wisdom teeth in the scan. You can go and edit any tooth. So for example, let's have a look at the segmentation where this surface of this tooth has been painted yellow. I can see that there's a tiny little bit that hasn't been picked up. I can click on the tooth number. I can then go edit. You'll be familiar with these tools for locking areas and the trimming tools for cutting areas out for crown prep, for example, things like that. You can use these tools in a similar way. You paint the surface and it will increase or decrease the area that's been segmented, that's been defined as separating this tooth into a separate 3D model. So you can do that for each tooth. I'll say confirm on there. What you also may notice is the segmentation has missed out a whole tooth. It thinks this tooth is missing, and that's not a major problem at all. I'm not quite sure why the software's done that, but I can click on that tooth and I can actually go to the auto smart tooth selection. So I click on there, click on the tooth, and it's automatically now done that segmentation. I can add or take away from it. So the Space Mouse is really, really nice. I've got Space Mouse in my left hand, so I can. It's like having the 3D in my fingertips, and then I've got an ordinary mouse in my right hand because I'm right-handed, and I can just tidy up that segmentation. Okay, so that's that done. I go confirm and confirm again, and now I'll just move this picture over a little bit. So you've got the workflow up here. So at the moment we're generating the model, and how cool is this? In front of the patient, this is now a computer simulation, a basic simulation, a basic straightening up of these teeth, which we can show the patient live in front of them. Down the side, we have a number of icons, and this is a number of different ways of viewing the simulation. And at the top, we've got the workflow, which we're familiar with for the scanning workflow. So now the model has been generated, and I can rotate these around. It's just so cool. This is the before and after, and this is just a computer AI-defined correction or realignment of these slightly malaligned teeth. And as I said, we have these icons down the side where we can look at the jaws or jaw in different views. So we've got before on the left-hand side and after on the right-hand side. And this in itself is really, really cool, I think. You can look at the jaws like that and move them around. And this is just such a fantastic tool for discussing the patient's overall requirements, aesthetic requirements, and other requirements. So you can see the before and the after. But what we can also do, and what makes this more powerful, much more powerful than other simulators, is I can go back one stage. I beg your pardon. I'll cancel that. I didn't mean to go back. I didn't need to go back, rather. I wanted to go forward to this stage, advanced adjustment. So what we can do here is we can, as I hover over any of the teeth, I can move the teeth individually. So it's almost like an orthodontic treatment planning package, where now it's not just a computer simulation. Now we can start to move any of the teeth. What's also really cool is I can turn on it says show height deviations, but it's actually the, let's turn it back on, it's actually the color-coded spot occlusion. So it's where the occlusions, where the contact points are actually and where close contact is measured in this map, and we can have this in different scales. The scales on the side, and I'll explain that in detail in another video where we look at the occlusal analysis. But this is really nice. We can have it in this view. We can click on a tooth. So let's just change that view for a moment. It's a little bit overbearing like that. And let's just say I want to widen the arch a little bit. So from canine to canine, so an anterior adjustment. I can just adjust the teeth. Gives me a little bit more space in the arch. I'm going to do a very gross movement over here, and I'll show you the back button. It works in the normal way, but you can see that it has soft tissue morphing as well. Now, as I've made that gross movement, you can see, and I'll just change the color map to be more prominent, and then change it back. You can see as you're moving the teeth. So let's move that molar back. I don't want to move that. If you move any of the teeth by mistake, you've got the back button. So I can use my space mouse and rotate this around. I can move in any degree of freedom the tooth. I can restrict the degrees of freedom to just do a little bit of rotation. And then I can see that updating here as well. I can make another scenario. So I probably should have left that as the computer simulation. Started another scenario, which I'll do. It's just scenario 2, just so it's dramatically different from the other plan so that we can see that. Let's move these much more, and we'll do something silly just so we can see one very clearly from the other. So we'll move that out there, and let's go and have a look at those simulations. So here we have a video. We can zoom in. We can look at this in various ways. We can look at it as both jaws in occlusion. We can look at it as a single jaw. I quite like looking at it like this. I mean, what we can also see is this patient would very much benefit from some tooth whitening at the same time, and we can change this model into a white and pink gingiva model, so we can see exactly what, well, we can see and get an idea, or the patient get an idea of what they would look like with much whiter teeth. So I'm playing that simulation, and it doesn't go through step by step, liner by liner. It just goes through in about 30 seconds or so the whole treatment scenario. So that was scenario number 2. We can have scenario number 1, which was more or less the computer simulation with me adjusting it a little bit. What we can also do, we can record the screen as well and make a video to give to the patient. All of this is uploaded to the Medit cloud account as well. And of course, we can have the Medit Link software installed in multiple machines around our clinic, so we don't have to be doing this part on the scanner software. There are a number of other tools as well, but that's the basics of the ortho simulator. Enjoy.